Happy Thursday to you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is the June 5th edition of Litter Media Live. With the icon Mike Smith in studio, I'm Dan Ramey. And off to our immediate left and on camera, too, is someone sitting in a cornfield.
What was that series of Jeepers Creepers horror flicks where the creature came out of the cornfields? Yeah. Or was that Children of the Corn was one, but I think Jeepers Creepers was also coming out of the cornfield.
One that had the guy that was the scarecrow and the whole deal. That's Aaron Glandon, by the way, not to be confused with the guy on Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, he has too much of a smile to be that guy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you even saw that movie.
I didn't. I just remember the previews.
Yeah. Startled you that much, huh?
There was one of the movies I watched maybe 3 minutes of it, the scene was taking place in broad daylight, but I was like, that is really creepy. Yeah. The image of the whatever it was, the monster or demon or whatever, I thought, I've seen enough of that, so I turned it.
My wife watches a lot of those things, so I get to watch it. It's like secondhand smoke. Yeah. You know, if I did go to the movie theater with her to see something like that, it was because I like sleeping in my own bed. Yeah, that sort of thing. So,
the weather.
Let's get right to the weather. And
whether or not Dan sleeps in his own bed.
Are expecting some shower activity today, but it doesn't look. It's going to be dark.
I don't know where the weather is.
It's going to be really dark.
We just blacked out.
The sun will completely blank out. It'll be a full eclipse.
Now, rain moves in today, likely in the mid to late afternoon. So, question mark, a lot of these ball games that are scheduled for today could be up for grabs. 3, 4, 5 o'clock is when some of this system is expected to come through with some possible thunderstorms. I noted about an hour and a half ago, the radar was showing that rain was already moving into southwest Ohio. And there's a chance of showers each day through next Tuesday. Now, the temperatures will remain in the upper 70s to the mid-80s.
Coming up later today, we will have 2 special editions. Coming up about noon today, we'll get an update on the Brew Fest, which is going to be taking place this weekend here in Chillicothe. Also today, by the way, is First Thursdays, so they may be dealing with some rain a little bit later on. But also, we'll be visiting at 1 o'clock this afternoon with Patrick Quackenbush. He is the new executive director of Adena Mansion and Gardens. So we'll talk about that and hopefully a vintage baseball game that will be able to be played. From what the forecasters I've seen, they're saying that we should have some clearing by noontime on Saturday.
Are you still wearing those old cotton uniforms?
No, thank goodness.
That would be like wearing a wet rag all day. Yeah.
You would gain 10 pounds just by getting soaked. All right, coming up in a moment to look at what's making news across the Scioto Valley. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. You'll find them by calling 740-253-8389 for a dumpster at your home or your business and all throughout this region. You want to find out more? Give a call, 740-253-8389.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit DixieChopper.com.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Tecumseh. Fascinating. Captivating. mesmerizing, Tecumseh.
All right, coming up in just a moment to look at news, sports, and this date in history. Plus, today is our Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week announcement, so stick close for that. But first, you can find a lot of the information we're going to share with you today on our website, littermedia.com, which is much like the forecast.
I must have
it's blanked out.
Forgot to get our website materials this morning.
You think that might be the case?
Because I was cleaning up the Pet of the Week image.
So we're just on screen for all of this.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I have the news stories, but I didn't get the website.
Didn't get the
I see what you're saying.
The small intricate features that we normally get to enjoy. So, all right. So let's jump right into the news, which you can find at littermedia.com.
This was an update sent out to the community through the Ross County Commissioner's office yesterday. So this is basically their press release. Commissioners continue to lead coordinated efforts, including weekly response meetings in conjunction with stakeholders and partners to respond to the closure of the Chillicothe paper mill, and is intensifying its work to position the site for future investment and long-term economic strength. Efforts to market the site have yielded multiple visits by potential investors in paper and other manufacturing industries, a number of which remain engaged. But despite earlier public statements made by HIG Capital and Pixelle that the facility would remain operational through the end of 2025, the commissioners say it's become increasingly clear that at least some operations may cease prior to the end of this year.
Hopes continue and our prayers continue for that circumstance. The Ohio Department of Transportation, through their special program called Transportation Alternatives Program, is announcing $52 million in grants to be awarded over the next 4 years to improve safety for bicycle and pedestrian traffic. The funding will support 44 projects in 33 counties, including the recommended projects for the 2028 Fayette Kinskill-Shaw Pike Bike Path Connector. We're talking about the connection between Washington Courthouse and Chillicothe, otherwise known as the Paint Creek Recreational Trail. That's nearly $1 million, $880,000. Ross Paint Creek Recreational Trail Rehabilitation Phase 2, repaired to improve 3.8-mile stretch of the Paint Creek Recreational Trail located within Concord and Union Township. Work will begin at the village of Frankfort at the end of 0.4 miles past the trail's intersection with the Musselman Station Road cul-de-sac. $1.5 million.
And again, that's not until 2028. So if you keep waiting, you've got a few more years, but those dollars have been committed to those projects.
And they still committed a lot of that money to the village of Frankfort from what was released and announced, May of last year. So that stuff's got to be spent by the end of 26, from what I understand.
Yeah. And the new community center in Frankfort, that construction is now underway. In fact, if you drive by the football field, back where the baseball diamond was, you can see the construction is going. Nothing has come up as far as the building, but doing a lot of the water lines, sewer lines, and things of that nature currently back there.
Good.
Also in the news today, the Chillicothe Ross County Public Library has announced their Bookworm StoryTimes. Actually, this began yesterday at the Kingston branch, but the other sites you can see, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, that's at the Northside branch this Friday. That's tomorrow. And then the Wiggle Worms, I love that. Those will be on successive Mondays, starting this coming Monday, and that also at the Northside Branch Library.
Are you sure these aren't 4-H club names? Chicka Chicka Boom Boom 4-H club.
Yeah, I can just see that. If you've driven over to Washington Courthouse through their downtown lately, you might have noticed this mural that's being painted at Floor & Company. That's a floor shop in downtown Washington Courthouse. This photo by the way, from downtown Washington Courthouse, the City of Washington Courthouse Economic Development Department. But this is really a neat mural. It's huge. It is huge. It takes up, as you see, it's starting to climb up towards the second story. But the gentleman that, when we're over there Monday, Aaron, if they're still working, we might stop and interview this painter. Don't know where he's from, whether he's local or he's coming in to do this, but it's very detailed and tremendous artwork. So each time we go into town, we drive by there to see how they're coming along. And I've noticed a lot of people just walking by that's stopping to talk to this guy, which is friendly, but if you want to get the job done, leave him alone.
That's why it takes so long to do these murals.
Yeah.
You know, you're standing there and you got to deal with the weather and everything too. And
Well, if the city's paying them by the hour, they're just helping them out.
Well, I don't know how that's commissioned, but it's really a neat project if you're going
plus
to the
you
courthouse.
most likely have a deadline to get done so that you can get to your next gig as well. So, yeah. Greenfield, the village of Greenfield has a lot of things going on with school out now. They invite you to Grow Greater Greenfield's 2 free movie nights, Friday the 13th. Are they going to show a scary movie that night? Hotel Transylvania, not so scary. And also on Friday, July 11th, the movie will be determined later. Movie starts at dusk, refreshments before or during the movie. And you can join them for free family movie night events at the playground parking lot right behind the First Presbyterian Church there in Greenfield.
Our road reports, we had this on our website some time ago in our road report section. My daughter went on a photography session to take pictures of landscapes, and she ran into this situation the other day. She said, "I wish I'd have known." I said, "Honey, check our website." A resurfacing project inside Great Seal State Park. At least one lane will be maintained on all routes, so it's accessible, but you only got one lane to travel there. And that project is continuing through, this says the summer of 2026. And that's what they sent us. So I'm guessing it's going to be done this summer. They'll pause, and then they'll come back next summer, because for paving with asphalt, that's a warm weather job.
Yeah. They usually can pave up to, mid to late October, I think, thereabouts.
They shut down a lot of the asphalt plants beyond that time.
Okay. Coming up here shortly, we'll get you caught up to date on the world of sports. We've got a lot of high school kids still in the state tournament and advancing, which is great news for our kids. All right, but first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. When you give them a call, or if you click on this ad, anywhere you see it on our website, they have 8 different offices that you can check into. And if you click on this, it takes you right to their website, AccurateHVAC.com. But you're going to click on this on our website, littermedia.com, to find more about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
If you're looking for a new mower, you want to make sure you stop by Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe for their spring sales event, which continues. New And this is while they last. New riding tractors starting at $1699.99. You want a zero turn? We got new zero turns starting at $3399.99. New walk behinds starting at $399.99. New chainsaws starting at just $279.99. New blowers starting at $199.99. And new trimmers starting at $229.99. But you want to hurry in for best selection. With prices like this, they won't last long, and they aren't lasting long. We're seeing them go out the door every time I step in. Hometown Motors, your store for the outdoors.
You think Scott would let me take a test drive on a zero-turn mower if I came down and asked?
If it was you, no.
He's seen me drive, yeah.
Because
I've never driven one.
We kind of joke about this, but it takes a little getting used to.
That's what I mean.
Because each one of your levers, you push them forward to go forward, and of course you pull back on one to turn, and so on and so forth. But it feels so awkward at first.
Is this how they drive tanks? Is that how that works too?
I've never been inside a tank, so I can't tell you. But I know there are levers from movies I've seen.
Because if I ever bought one, I want to know I could handle it before I put that kind of money down.
Sure.
Yeah. Scott, I may come down, ask for a test drive.
You have to go over to Unioto High School, see if you can step inside the Sherman tank there and see what.
Oh, yeah. I never thought of that.
About the steering mechanism. If any of that's still in there.
It's probably sealed up.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. All right, time for sports.
A lot, as Dan said, happening all at the same time. And here we go. Hillsboro's Lady Indians routed Cortland Lakeview 7-1 in the Division IV state softball semi yesterday up in Akron. Lakeview scored first, but Hillsboro scored 1 in the fourth, then 3 runs in both the fifth and sixth to blow it open. Hillsboro now faces undefeated Kenton Ridge, who's 31-0, at 3 p.m. today for the state championship. Now, remember, Hillsboro has never been to the Final Four in any sport in the school's history, which is really kind of hard to believe as long as Hillsboro's been around.
I like their chances.
But Cameron Spruill back on the bump today. Also in softball, Notre Dame.
Wait a second. There's no bump in softball.
Well, that's true. The rubber.
She's in the circle.
The slab, it's up a little bit.
Okay.
Notre Dame also a big winner over Covington, 9-2 in the Division VII state semi. They will face Monroeville for their Division VII state championship. That is, I think, scheduled for 5:30 if they're running on time. Division V softball state semis, Liberty Union, the defending state champ, takes on they take on Akron Manchester. Wheelersburg, a past state champ, I think twice in the last 4 years. Wheelersburg Lady Pirates, they're taking on Oak Harbor. All of that's happening up in Akron today. Turning to baseball, the Southeastern Panthers continue to play their best ball of the season. Over in Lancaster yesterday, they blanked Southeast District D6 top seed Eastern Meigs 6-0 in the regional semi. So Southeastern advances to the regional championship at 6 o'clock today at Lancaster. Circleville Tigers baseball team battles Dover in the D3 regional semi. That's out at VA Memorial Stadium this afternoon at 2 o'clock. At the same time, Unioto will face Indian Valley at Ohio University in the D4 regional championship. In Division 5 action, Lynchburg Clay plays St. Clairsville in the finals. Yesterday, we kind of give you a heads up on this earlier in the week. Division 5 Ironton, they lost yesterday in their regional final. So it's kind of, there's Division 5 teams. We don't usually see this out of the Southeast District, but in Division 5, 3 winners came out of the district. One of them was Ironton. They had to go west, where typically they would stay, Lancaster, VA, or that. But that's not the way that flushed out this year. So a lot to keep track of today, and we'll have all of that either on Litter Media X or on our Litter Media scoreboard page at littermedia.com.
A lot of new faces up at Circleville. Of course, we've had Jay Sherritt as the new football coach. They've got a new athletic director we told you about recently. Now, this is a young face She was a Circleville Tiger and comes back again to continue. We're talking about Sarah Moats. She'll be leading the girls' soccer program. Players and families are invited to meet the coach night, which is coming up next Tuesday from 4 until 5 p.m. in the Circleville High School cafeteria. Circleville also introduces Marlon Ellis to lead their boys and girls wrestling program. He has been over at Washington Courthouse in recent years, so a couple of SCOL members there, keeping it in the SCOL family, as it were, despite the fact that it's now the Mid-State League for Mr. Ellis, so congratulations. Chillicothe Paints routed the Kings last night. They crowned them good, 13-4. They'll hit the road today to play the Kings in Springfield tonight. That's a 6:35 start. The road trip continues for them with stops in Normal for the Cornbelters, Lafayette Aviators, and the Kings again before returning to VA Memorial Stadium next Wednesday with the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. So they've got a week away from Chillicothe. The Reds lost their series wrap-up with the Brewers 9-1. First loss in the season for Andrew Abbott, who is now 5-1 on the season. Reds are off tonight. They'll open up a weekend set with Arizona tomorrow. The Diamondbacks, if you want to see them in action, they play Atlanta tonight. And the Guardians blanked the Yankees 4-0. They'll go for the series win tonight in the Bronx.
I think, did they say that this was like the 14th straight series that the Reds have lost to the Brewers, going back over however many years?
That sounds right.
That's bad. You lose 14 series against one team.
And you think to yourself, well, they got rid of Greg Counsell. Well, he's now with the Cubs. So now it stays in the division. Oh, well. Coming up, our Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week announcements. So stick close for that.
In the meantime, custom tank colors and wraps. Find out how a propane tank can be beautiful at litterpropane.com.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
And you've seen the promo. Now it's time to tell you who this week's Pet of the Week is. So, Slighted Earl. Emily Gawalik has nominated Minnie. Emily says, we call her Minnie Mouse. Emily drove to Toledo to meet Minnie when she was 6 weeks old. She's all the way from Michigan. Minnie is now 1.5 years. She's full of life, has lots of energy, and loves to play and follow her big sister around. So congratulations to Minnie. And in order to nominate a pet, simply email littermedia@gmail.com. Tell us about your pet, and remember to include a photo. To see all of the 2025 pets of the week, just visit littermedia.com and click on Petland Litter Media Pets of the Week. And in December, we'll announce the Pet of the Year. You'll also win a prize from Petland. Congratulations to Minnie.
Go back to Minnie. What would be the caption over this picture?
Why are you taking my picture?
Who, me? Me?
I don't look like a Minnie Mouse.
You picked me?
Yes.
Congratulations, Ben.
Yes.
All right. This date in history, a little entertainment news. We go back, and our talented artist, our sketch artist, Dan Ramey, did an outstanding job on this in just a short period of time. In 1956, in an appearance on the Milton Berle Show, Elvis Presley set his guitar aside and put every part of his being into a hip-grinding performance of the song Hound Dog. Now, I'd always heard about the controversy of him doing that on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he also did it on Milton Berle's show.
Yeah, you got me. In fact, this the image that I used to draw this, I don't think was from the Milton Berle show.
Oh, okay.
So this is just what you might have pictured as swivel hips there.
Yeah, but back in 1956, you weren't allowed to gyrate your hips like that. It was too suggestive. And now it's like anything goes, right?
Oh, man. Solid Gold changed a lot of that. Mm-hmm. I remember Rebecca Pollard, our former cohort in crime on radio. She said my grandfather would sit and watch Solid Gold and go, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy.
Oh, my.
Well, turn it off, Grandpa. I can't reach the remote. Where's the remote?
Yeah.
But now, man, almost anything goes.
Elvis.
Yes, it does.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. He sang it away.
Coming up in just a bit, we'll visit with Tiffany Baldwin to talk about the Chillicothe Brew Fest happening this Saturday in Chillicothe. Also, a little bit later on, about 1 o'clock, you'll meet Patrick Quackenbush. He is the new executive director of Adina Mansion and Garden. He has been on the job for a little over a month and a half, maybe, thereabouts. And from the visit I had with him most recently, I didn't know he lives in Vinton County. And he's been a naturalist for eons, it seems. He's always worked for the State Department of Natural Resources, and so he knows his stuff in that regard. But I learned more. He has been to the Galapagos Islands. He does a lot of deep-sea diving and everything, and he really knows his stuff. So, and bless you. You okay over there?
Shook Aaron up pretty bit, that Galapagos.
Oh, there it is. He's allergic to Galapagos.
He's afraid of those dragons, the dragons that climb around all over the Galapagos Islands.
You all right?
I think it's Galapagos.
Galapagos?
Right? You're saying Galapagos.
What kind of dragon? What's the name of the dragon
Galapagos.
that I'm thinking of?
I know
Monitor?
They have turtles over there.
Monitor lizard or something like that?
I don't know.
They call them dragons, but they're not. They don't
Komodo dragon?
They don't breathe fire or anything like that, but yeah. I think they call it a monitor.
Didn't know that I've ever seen a dragon actually breathe fire.
You didn't watch enough cartoons.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, anyway.
That's it for the program. Thank you so much for watching and listening on Litter Media Radio. We'll be back with another edition of our daily show tomorrow about 11 o'clock here on Litter Media Live.